Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending the District 7030 and 7020 ClubRunner Essentials training. My name's Omar. Thank you again for joining us today. Okay, and I do see the attendees number has sort of settled, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name's Omar. I'm joined by Robin, my co-host. I am a product specialist at ClubRunner. I'm close to 4 years at this point. Robin is a newer team member, still in his first 6 months, but we'll have you guys ask your questions during the training using the Q&A box. Robin will be sort of monitoring those questions, and we'll also have a Q&A session closer to the end of the training in about an hour and 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the topics that we'll be covering for the training. So here are our topics to be covered. First things first is we're going to log into our club level website, and then we're going to also log into our district level website and see how access on the district is granted to your club executives. Once I quickly show you guys how you get your access on the district website, we're going to go back into the club version to check on how access on the club level is assigned, as well as give you guys a brief overview of each module in ClubRunner. I'm not able to spend all the time I'd like to showing you guys all the settings or features that you can for each module, so I'm just going to keep it brief and give you guys an overview for bulletins, events, and the custom page live designer. But closer to the end of the training, when we're in the Q&A session, I'll also show you guys our knowledge base with more recorded webinars that you can view for bulletins, events, and the live designer. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our demonstration club account here. Okay, and you guys should see my demonstration club account here. We're at the Rotary Club of Greentown. To get started, I'm going to log into the club website. And to do that, I'm just going to click this member login link in the top right. So my demonstration's user's name is Charles Hampton. So I'm just going to enter that username in and password. Before I log in, I do want to mention, if for any reason you do not know your username or your password, you can open up this member login page on your club website or your district website, and then click any of these 3 links to recover your login information. Let me just quickly show you what that would look like. So I'm going to click Forgot Username. On this retrieve login information form, you can enter your last name and your email address. And the next step would be to click this blue submit button. Once you click submit, an email will be sent to your email address with your username and a link to reset your password. So once you reset your password, you can come back to this login form and log in. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the member login page. So I'm just going to go back to the home page and click member login, and we're going to log in now. So I'm going to type in my password and then click this blue login button. Okay, so once logged in, it doesn't look much different from when we pulled up the website. The main difference is now I see member area instead of member login with my user's name and a logout link. So I can click member area to enter our club's member area. Let's go ahead and just click that. So here we are. Charles is set as a site administrator for the account, so I have access to all of these tools. But how would you get access on the district website? It would be done in this organization, club executives and directors list. But before we go to add Charles as an executive so he has access, let me show you what the district website looks like for Charles before we assign access. So in my second browser tab, I've pulled up the district for the Rotary Club of Greentown. And if I just refresh, it should remember that I am logged in. So I'm going to go ahead and click this little refresh icon. And as soon as I do it, the browser recognizes that I logged into my club website. So it makes me logged into the district website. I'm just going to click member area to go into the district. So here we are. We'll note that the dashboard that I see on the district is really slimmed down. I'm just sort of a member on the district and don't have much access other than to edit my own profile. To test my access, really, once you're listed as an executive, all of the tools you'd need are in this For Clubs tab. So I'm going to click For Clubs, but we can see many of the items here are grayed out for Charles. And if I click Define Club Executives, If I click Define Club Executives, we're brought to this Executives and Directors page where we can see Charles is not listed, and I'm not able to delete information or edit information or any of that. So let's go ahead and assign Charles the treasurer position. And once I do that, Charles will have access, just like Peter and John and Cyril, to manage all of these items in the For Clubs tab. So I'm going to click Home to sort of leave the district member area. I'm going to go back to our club website tab. So I'm just going to click this first tab in my browser. We're back in the Rotary Club of Greentown. And then I'm going to click Organization, then Executives and Directors in the gray bar just below. So we're effectively getting Charles access to manage his own club at the district by assigning him an executive and director position. Your district membership editors are also able to update your executives and directors list, and our team can assist with confirmation from your district administrators or district membership chair, and we can get your position entered so you also have access. So quickly, to get access, I'm just going to click this edit link for the treasurer position, then select Charles from this name drop down. There he is, and then I'm going to click this orange save button. Okay, so now that Charles is set as an executive, this wouldn't increase his access on the club website. Clubs use club access levels. We did this for the district. So now if I go back to my district website, I'm just going to go to that second tab and click. And now if I click member area, let's just make sure I'm going to log out and then log back in to make sure my access changes are applied. So I'm just going to log back in again. There we are, and we're logging into the district. I've clicked login. We are logged in. I'm going to click member area, and I'm now in the member area. If I click the For Clubs tab, we should have access to more of the tools, and we do. So now I've clicked For Clubs. I'm able to review my membership list. I'm able to make changes to the executives, edit club information, review the RI integration settings, and so on. A bunch of reports and archives for changes. But if I go to define club executives like we pulled up earlier, I'm now able to add more positions to my club executives and directors, as well as edit, clear, and delete positions. So just to quickly show you, I can just add, say, a board director. So I'm going to select other and then just have the title board director. And now I can add another member to the executives list. Okay. So along with the treasurer position that grants access, president, president-elect, secretary, executive secretary, all of these kinds of positions grant access to the For Clubs tab so you can manage your club's information on the district website. So if you're ever struggling with getting access to manage your club on the district website, pull up the club executives and directors list and make sure you are assigned at least one of these positions with president, president-elect, treasurer, secretary, executive secretary. Even a Rotary Foundation and Sergeant at Arms has access to the For Clubs tab on the districts. Okay, so while we're here, I just want to quickly show you how you can manage your members, and then we're going to go back into the club version. So if you want to add a member or terminate a member, all you'd have to do is click For Clubs in the top blue bar, then membership lists in the gray bar just below. Okay, and this will take you to your active members list. From this list, you can add a member by clicking this orange Add New Member button, or you can terminate a member by clicking the Change Status link for their record. Let's do that for John Corporal here. I'm just going to click Change Status. And here we can choose the first option, Terminate Membership, to terminate the member. Okay, so I'm going to leave this page. I'm not going to go through actually terminating the member, and I do have a lot more content I'd like to go over, but just to quickly summarize it for you, in your district, For Clubs in the top blue bar, then membership lists in the gray bar below, and then from this active members page, you can add members or terminate members with the change status link. Okay, you can also update your club's information from the same For Clubs tab with this edit club information option. Okay, and those are the two main functions. You can also set your executives just like I did once we assign Charles as an executive. Really, you just need to be listed as an executive to get access to all of these tools. Okay, and that's enough for our district sort of demo on how you get access and use the membership list to manage your club club members. I'm going to go ahead and close out of the district website, and we'll move on to our club level content. So I'm just going to close this out and go back to club executives and directors list. I'm going to take us back to that first page we saw when we logged into the club. So I'm clicking admin in the top blue bar and then admin in the gray bar just below. And this is typically what you'll see when you log into your club level website. Sometimes you may have a different dashboard that appears for you. I'm set with the greatest access level site administrator, so I'm able to see all of the other dashboards, other access levels are able to view. So if you were set with the executive access level on the club website, you would typically see this executives dashboard, which wouldn't have the live homepage designer option. You may ask, so you've shown us how to get access on the district. How do we get access on the club website? And I've talked about it, access levels. Where would you view your access levels? Well, anytime you log into your club member area, you'll see this edit profile button on any of these dashboards, and you can check your access level by editing your profile. So I've clicked edit profile. Here's Charles's profile. And for club access, it's in this settings tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click settings. And if I scroll down, you'll see club access level, and I'm assigned the greatest access level, 30 site administrator. And this gives access to all of the tools in the member area, just in the club version. For districts, it's that club executives list. Okay, let's go ahead and get our hands dirty with some of the modules after I give you a brief overview of each. So first things first, from the top blue bar, we have admin. This is typically where you'll find your admin dashboard, the club's privacy policy, your information and settings page, which we also have on the district, as well as ClubRunner Mobile. That gives me a good chance to talk to you about our ClubRunner Mobile app. So I'm going to go ahead and click ClubRunner Mobile, but you'll also have admin ClubRunner Mobile in your district website. So I'm in the club and it's here, but it's in the same place in your district website. Once I click ClubRunner Mobile, we're brought to this page where you can preview a video about how you can open the app on your mobile device, view other members within your club, within your district, add their contact information to your phone, look up club events, and more, much more, stories, district events, and so on. So definitely check out ClubRunner Mobile. You don't need an elevated access level to go to this page. All you have to do is log in, admin in the top blue bar, ClubRunner Mobile. You'll be brought to this page, and depending on your mobile device, you can click get it on Google Play for your Android device, or get it on the App Store for your iOS device. Okay, so definitely check out ClubRunner Mobile just so you can stay on top of who's joining your club, what are the events coming up, what is your club posting on the website, all right in your app. This video will give you a nice overview of the app. Let's move on. We also have help guides, which will open up the ClubRunner knowledge base, our webinars list where you can sign up for live webinars, contact support, which will give you a form you can fill out to reach out to us for assistance, and community. And I guess while I'm talking about help guides, webinars, and contact support, I want to quickly show you guys our knowledge base, clubrunnersupport.com. So up at the top of my browser, I'm just going to click this plus icon, and I'm going to type in clubrunnersupport.com and press enter. There we are. I'm just going to zoom in a bit so it's a little more easy to see. So here on clubrunnersupport.com, you can just contact us by clicking this contact us button in the top right. We also have recorded videos and webinars right here on the knowledge base, as well as links to those articles. These are all linked in your member area, but they're all on clubrunnersupport.com as well. So you don't have to log in to get support. You can just go clubrunnersupport.com, search our knowledge base for the item that you're looking for, or contact us directly with this blue contact us button in the top right. Okay, let's go back to our member area. So I'm just going to click this first tab. Here we are. Let's move on to the other modules. My ClubRunner is just an easy way your members can view their own profile, commitments, their own attendance, committees they are a part of, the club's member directory, account balance, documents, and more. I won't spend too much on this tab because this is typically what your members would use to view their own information, where we're interested in sort of building out a bulletin or getting those member profiles in. But definitely check out all of these options in the My Club Runner tab. We will touch on sending an invoice, which would appear in the account balance page that I'm highlighting here. So we will go through sending an invoice using the club version. Okay, next module is the communication module. This is for emails. So if you're looking to send an email to your club's membership or your non-member contacts, all you'd have to do is log into your club member area, then click communication, and then we would click email services. And I'm going to go ahead and click email services here. So here we are, we're brought to the club communication page. If I'd like to send an email to my membership, all I have to do from this page is click this orange compose new message button on the right side. And then you'll be brought to this create email page, where on the left side, you can select your recipients, say all of your active and honorary members by checking that box, or you can click that little plus icon to open up the sub-contact group. So active, active corporate, and honorary, and then just select, say, your active members or just your honorary members. So you can sort of drill down into the subgroups, but you can actually drill down further to select individuals by clicking this expand link for any of the groups. So I've clicked expand for active members, and now we see the individual active members list on who is included for the emails. I can just uncheck or recheck the members to include them in my email. If for any reason a member isn't able to be selected, you can view the reason by hovering over where the checkbox would be. So I've hovered over Chuck here, and it says email address for this recipient is missing or invalid, and that's why we can't select Chuck. So at this point, we should open up Chuck's profile from the active members list, edit it, and enter an email address for the user. Okay, and that's quickly how you would select recipients for the email. On the right side, you can enter the email's information. So I could say Easter egg hunt information or e-flyer. And then if I scroll down, you have templates and merge fields. So if your club has saved an email template, you can just use that template to fill in the text box, this text box right here. There's also these merge fields where you can enter in the recipient's title, last name, first name, and so on. And I'll quickly demo merge fields. So I've just removed that default text in our email. If I'd like to say, dear first name, all I have to go is to this recipient dropdown, click the dropdown, then select first name, and it's automatically entered for me where my cursor was placed. So if I want to go 2 lines down and include the club's name, I would just go to the account dropdown. Well, first I'd place my cursor in that second line. Then I would go to the account dropdown, click the dropdown, and then choose account full name or account short name, for example. And I can go full name, then click add, and then it adds that merge field right there. So when we send this email, it'll say dear, and then the first name of your recipient, and then the account full name, Rotary Club of Greentown. Okay, and that's how you can sort of use the merge fields to enter text into the email. You can also just start typing what you'd like to send in this email send box. So for example, join us for the Easter egg hunt on April 14th. Okay, and now I have that email content entered. The next step would be to just sort of scroll down the page. If you'd like to include attachments, you would use the step 3 option and click select files for upload. I've clicked that button, and now we see my file explorer on my device where I can double click an image or click an image or document once, and then click this open button to attach it to the email. So I've just done that for that one image. I'm going to remove it. Just keep in mind, there is a 6 megabyte total limit for attachments for your email, with each file having up to a maximum of 5 megabytes. So you could have 2-3 megabyte files attached to your email. That's quite a bit of space, but you can also include links in your email in case you have the content hosted elsewhere. Actually, while I'm talking about links, let me quickly show you what I mean. So I've scrolled back up to our email content box and say I'd like to include the events page on our website in this email, I could go click here to register for the Easter egg hunt. So now that I've got my text in there, all I need to do is highlight that line and then click the link editor tool in the editor tool control box here. So I'm just going to click link, and then we get this handy link dialog. I really suggest checking out this link editor tool. Click the link type dropdown and you'll see all of these items you can link to in emails, on your website, on events. So if I want to link the event into my email, I would just select the link type event, and then the second option would change for upcoming events. I would just click this drop down and then choose the event that we're looking to include. Easter egg hunt should be here, but I actually need to publish the registration. I prepared the event ahead of time just to conserve time for our webinar. But once I go and publish it, it will appear here in the upcoming events, but we can link this barbecue and fundraiser and then click this green OK button. And now we can see click here to register for the Easter egg hunt is actually linked to our event barbecue registration page, but we can get the Easter egg hunt once we publish that event. Okay, let's move on past attachments. The next few options are including a list of recipients. So whoever receives the email will be able to see who else was included on the email. You can also check this copy me on this email option so you receive a copy of the email once it's sent out. Finally is the option to send the email now or schedule the email to send at a later date. So if we leave send right now, all I have to do is click send and the system will begin to send our email, or I can click schedule, and then using this calendar and time box, I can choose when the email should send. And I'm just going to quickly show you how you can schedule the email. So I've selected schedule, then I'm going to click this calendar icon. And from here, I can choose the day and month that I'd like the email to be sent out. To go to next month, I just need to click this next arrow. And then we can choose, say, February 7th. And then for the time, I want it to go out at 9 a.m. So I'm going to just type in 9, and we see it fills in the current time, 9:23. I just need to click minutes and then press 00, and AM is good. You can also use these arrows to change the time. So if I click hours and then click the up arrow, it'll go to 10 o'clock. And then if I click minutes and click the up arrow many times, we can get it to 30. We can get it to 30. I really like just typing in the time because it's a little faster. So I can go 10:30 a.m. for our scheduled email. And then we can just click send to schedule it. So let's go ahead and schedule the send. So I've pressed send. It says schedule email to 18 recipients. Okay. And here is our email scheduled for February 7th at 10:30, Easter egg hunt information e-flyer. We should come back to this scheduled email and include the correct event link. And we'll do that once we get through the bulletin and invoices. So let's go ahead and move on for the other overviews. We have the attendance module to track your meeting attendance. All you have to do is create a meeting. And then once the meeting is created, you can open up the meeting and start checking off member names to say they've attended the meeting. Once the meeting attendance is complete, you would just close the meeting. So I've gone ahead and clicked attendance, then meetings. And here we can see all of our club's meetings. The ones in green have had their attendance taken and were closed. So they are now reporting the attendance to the reports in the attendance module. So you can see the overall attendance for your members. This January 26th meeting is not closed, so its statistics are not in the reports, but we can still mark attendance. And you can also reopen closed meetings. You'll see this reopen. But quickly showing you, once you add a meeting, you would click the meeting's date. It'll take you to this page where it says the rules for how attendance is calculated. I'm not able to spend more time on that, but we do have an attendance webinar that really spends a lot of time in the module, and we'll be sure to link that to you in the follow-up email from the training. But if I scroll down some more, here is your active members list where you could say Eddie came to the meeting, Lay came to the meeting, Nee came to the meeting, and then all you have to do is click this orange save button. So now the meeting stats have been updated. To close the meeting and report its stats to the reports in the module, all we have to do is click this close link. So I'm going to go ahead and click close. then click OK on this browser prompt. Are you sure you want to close? We can reopen. Okay, and I do see it is processing the close. Once it's closed, we should see this January 26th meeting is also greened out. And there it is. We see all of our meetings are closed and are reporting to the reports in the attendance module. You'll see the reports in this left-hand gray menu. I don't have time to cover all of the reports and settings. Definitely check out clubrunnersupport.ca, our webinar on attendance, and I'll also have that follow-up email. Great, let's move on to bulletins. And this one we're actually going to work in and send a bulletin. So I'm going to go ahead and click bulletin from the top blue bar. Then in the gray bar just below, I'm going to click manage bulletins on the left side of the page. So this is typically what you'd see when you open up the bulletins module for the first time. You'll get this, hi Charles, welcome to the bulletin designer. If you scroll down, you'll see your club's recent active and archived bulletins. Active bulletins are ones you can continue to work on. Archived bulletins are frozen and sent to the archive. And what do I mean by frozen? Well, if you use a widget like upcoming events, the upcoming events widget will automatically pull events from your club's member area. If you leave the bulletin active into next month, so for February, that upcoming events list widget will start displaying February events instead of January events. But if you archive a bulletin, that will not happen while it's archived. It will just keep showing its list of events for January. Let's get our hands dirty. I can click this orange create bulletin button to just get started. I can also click this one or click view bulletins to view all of my account's active bulletins. So let's click view bulletins. Here we are. We see there are 2 active bulletins, 3-story layout, and ClubRunner support. So typically these are not emailed yet. If they were, they're usually archived. So we can just hover over either of them, then click open to edit it. I'll start fresh with a brand new bulletin. But before we create one, I just want to show you guys where you can view your archived bulletins. So again, we clicked bulletin, manage bulletins, and then on the right side of the page, we clicked the view bulletins button. It brought us here, and to view our archived bulletins, we just have to click this active bulletin dropdown, then select archive bulletins. So these are all the bulletins our club has archived in the past. You'll see one sent on October 12th, another on June 29th, and so on. You can view the bulletin by clicking this action drop-down arrow on the right side of the page and clicking view, or by clicking the title of the bulletin. Let's quickly view an older bulletin. So this was a demonstration bulletin. We've got a little banner at the top, just a widget saying hello, the club's upcoming events, and that's it. It's just a demonstration bulletin. I'll add more content when we create our own. And speaking of, let's jump into creating a bulletin. So I'm back here on the archive bulletins list. I'm going to click bulletin, then manage bulletins in the gray bar below. On the right side of the page, I'm going to click view bulletins to open up our active bulletins. And if I was continuing where I left off, I would just hover over the bulletin I was working on and click open, but we're going to create a new one. So we're going to click this orange create bulletin button in the top right. And from here, you can select one of our templates that we provide for your account, or a blank template from this blank template section. Or if your club has saved any templates while a bulletin was active, you can click my templates and then use one of those templates your club has saved in the past. We're going to start fresh. So I'm just going to click templates and then scroll to the bottom and choose one of these ones. I like membership news. Really, when choosing a template to begin from, what we suggest are 2 main layouts, either the full width layout or a layout with a sidebar and a main column. So I've started my new bulletin. Where would you go to change that layout? It's here. Themes, layouts, and properties. If I click layouts, we'll see the layout that's currently set for our bulletin. There we are. So if I scroll down, we can see here we are. Header, full width, single bottom is the active layout. So there are no sidebars in this layout. And you'll see here is that main section, the header / banner full width section, and the bottom section is right here. What I suggest when creating your bulletin is using one of these responsive header full width with sidebar options, so one of these two, or that same full width option. So if you just like everything to have its breathing space, use the full width header single. If you'd like to have a sidebar, which I personally like, you can use the right sidebar or left sidebar layouts. Let's change it. I'm just going to click responsive header full width left sidebar. So here we are. I've changed the layout. All of our content that was originally in the main column is moved over to the right main, and now we have a nice sidebar we can add content to. So those are layouts. Let's take a quick look at properties. Properties are where you title the bulletin, enter the bulletin date. Bulletin groups, I didn't have time to cover, but you can have multiple bulletin groups, member-only news, or a general group, for example. And if we scroll down the properties, we can also enter an email subject. So if you guys were creating a bulletin, normally you have some phrase you call it, say the COG, and then I could say Jan 28th edition. Okay, so we've titled our bulletin. I'm going to set its date to January 28th, and then I'm going to scroll down and replace the email subject. I don't want membership news to be the email's title. I want the COG to be the one. So I'm going to highlight the COG, right click, then copy the text, and I'm just going to go back to the email subject, highlight it, right click, and paste in that same bulletin title as the email subject. You also have these website publishing options to have the bulletin be visible on the website if you have the bulletins widget on your homepage or another page, as well as this show commitments option, which would show the recipient their volunteer sign-up lists, events they've registered to, any meeting responsibilities they've signed up for. And you'll see the commitment section. If I scroll all the way to the bottom of our bulletin, here is that commitment section, which is set to appear. So it doesn't show anything to us as the editor, because this section is for the recipients. It's the recipients' commitments at your club. So just keep in mind, if you're showing commitments, it wouldn't appear for you in the editor. It will appear when you're sending it out to your members and recipients. Last is this access level. So you can set a bulletin to be visible on your website for any visitor, or require login. So only members who can log into your club website would be able to click the bulletin, then they'd have to log in to actually view your bulletin content. Okay, most importantly with this properties tab is to save your updates with this orange save button. So I'm going to click save, and if we scroll back to the top, we see that the membership news title is now replaced with the COG Jan 28th edition. Okay, next is themes. These are how you choose the color palette for your bulletin. I know a lot of Rotary clubs like the Azure and Gold theme. So we're going to go ahead and use this Leadership Compact No Banner theme. I'm just going to click Azure and Gold. And you'll say, why did I select a theme without a banner? Well, you can create a banner using any image widget on your bulletin. You can also select a theme with a banner, and then you'd have to manage that banner for that theme. But I'll leave it out. We'll add our own image to be a banner using one of these themes without a banner. Okay, so definitely check out themes, choose a color scheme that you like. All you have to do is sort of just hover over the different color palettes and then click it, and then it'll automatically update that bulletin with the color scheme. You can always go back to your original theme, and you can tell which is your original with that thin blue outline. So this one says we currently have leadership, and then you'll see that thin blue outline again for the colors, but we can go back to the Leadership Compact Azure and Gold just by clicking it. Okay, I don't see too many differences when trying those two, but I'm sure the differences would be pronounced if I tried another one. I just know a lot of Rotary clubs like the Azure and Gold color scheme. Next is the content tab, and I do want to spend just a bit of time on this tab because we will touch on it when we design our custom page, a live website page on the website. So first things first, I'm going to shrink down this pre-formatted widgets group by clicking it. So now we'll see all of our different widget groups, pre-formatted widgets, essentials, links, events, bulletin and PR, and then the custom widget groups. Pre-formatted widgets are just a quick way of getting some text or a button or an image in your bulletin. Let's use the image with caption one. So to get the widget into my bulletin, I'm just going to click down and then drag the widget into anywhere I see drop here, or I can drop it above or below any other newsletter, or sorry, widget, pardon me. We don't see a drop here where it says the Rotary Clubs of Kingsbridge, but I can just hover over my new widget here and then either move my cursor slowly up to drop it above or slowly down to drop it below. I'd like it in this banner full width section. I'm going to drop it above the club name, which we should correct. It should be the Rotary Club of Greentown. So there we are. The image with caption widget is in, but there's no image in there. How do we get an image in? All we have to do is hover over and click this pencil icon, and it'll bring up the club's image library. So I'm currently opened in the Charles Images subfolder. So this is Charles's own folder he created in the library. You will typically be brought to My Images. So this is what you'd normally see. If you'd like to create your own subfolder, all you have to do is right-click My Images, click a new subfolder, enter in the title of the subfolder, and then click OK. And then you'd have a similar folder like Charles does in your club's image library. From here, we just need to double-click an image from the library to add it to the widget. If you'd like to add your own images, so say you don't see your image in the library yet, all you have to do is go to the top of the library and click this green upload button. So I'm going to go ahead and click upload, and you guys should see my file explorer. So these are the files on my computer. All I have to do to upload a file is click it once and then click open. I just want to share a handy tip. If you select, say, if you have multiple images to upload to the library, you can click your first image, then hold down the shift key on your keyboard and then select the last image, and it'll automatically select any images in between. You can also click the first image that you'd like to upload and then hold down the control key on your keyboard, for Mac users, the command key, and then select other images without selecting the images in between. So now I've got these 3 images selected without these other images selected. So I'm going to click open to upload them to the library. And I do see it is working to upload the images here. It is taking just a bit longer than I'm expecting. It should have already moved on to uploading the second one. There we are, and it should move on to the third one as well. It could be that it's seeing I'm uploading duplicate images and trying to make sure I'm not duplicating them. If it takes much longer, I'm going to just refresh it because I do see we have about 45 more minutes we can spend in the tutorials. It is loading for me. I'm going to try to switch out of this folder and then back to it to get those images. So I'm just going to click out elsewhere. And then back to Charles's images. This is definitely unexpected behavior. There we go. So it has loaded them, and we do see the extra copies of those images I uploaded. All I have to do is double click an image, and there it is. It's now in our image with caption widget. To edit the caption in that widget, I just have to hover over type caption here and click the same pencil icon, and then I can highlight the text I'd like to replace and say, join us for the Easter egg hunt. Excuse me. So there we are. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that text and then click the middle align button. And now it's nice and middle aligned just below our new banner picture. I do want to mention these drop here boxes will not appear when you go to send the bulletin email. They'll just sort of be hidden when sending that email. So you don't have to fill in everywhere it says drop here. Next group of widgets, I'm not going to spend more time on pre-formatted widgets, is essentials, and there are a lot of good widgets in the essentials group. I'm going to remove this banner text. I'm just going to hover over the widget and click this X icon to remove it. And then we can start adding in different widgets. So say I'd like my club's meeting information to appear in the bulletin. All I have to do is hover over this widget, click and drag it, and then move it where I'd like to. I'm going to put it in the left sidebar. I'm going to let go of my cursor, and there we go. We see the meeting information is entered. We can also throw in our club's executives and directors. I'm going to do that below. So I'm just going to let go. And here are our club's executives and directors. We can see Charles with that treasurer position we set on the club website to give them access at the district. We can also include your club's website stories onto the bulletin. And I didn't cover website stories. They're just a quick way to post content to your website. They're not a custom page, but they do live in a page. But custom pages can include widgets of their own. But for bulletins, you can just copy them into it. All we have to do is click and drag bulletin stories. And usually this widget goes into your main column on the bulletin. So I like it usually closer to the top. Let's have it be just below this membership newsletter picture. And here we see our bulletin stories. I do want to make a distinction. For pre-formatted widgets, we hovered over the widget and you see this pencil icon to edit it right there. But for these essential widgets, many of them will have an outbound arrow icon instead. This icon will take you to the place that the widget pulls its information from. So let's go ahead and click this outbound arrow icon for stories. And then it brings me to this list page, stories for the COG Jan 28th edition. So these are the stories for that widget we've added to our bulletin. To add the stories, I'm going to click add stories from the story library right here in the top right. And as soon as I do that, it'll bring me to this page with all of the website stories this club account has created in the past. To start adding stories, all I have to do is just check a handful of them, or whichever ones you'd like to include on your newsletter. And then we just scroll to the bottom and click the orange done button. Okay, I'm going to click done. We're back on that stories for bulletin title page. And here are our 4 stories. If I click done again, we'll see those stories right in our bulletin designer. I see it's starting to stretch the bulletin. It's because one of the stories includes an embedded video. I do want to mention embedded videos do not play in email clients. It looks like this is in the story content. So I'm going to hide that, and it's stretching the margins. You may note the bulletin's a little wider. That's not advisable. Most email readers are set with 600 pixel width. And if you go over, it may start to wrap content. It may not look as good as it should. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit this widget's properties so we can hide this embedded video. So I'm just gonna scroll to the top of the widget and click this gear icon. And most widgets have this gear icon. These are the properties for your widget. So let's click it. Here are the properties for story widget. So we can retitle our title. We can say Greentown Stories. Oops. And once I save this update to the widget's properties, this stories title for the widget will be replaced with Greentown Stories. What I really want to do is scroll past all these header properties, content properties. Most widgets have header. Content properties change from widget to widget based on what kind of widget you're using. I'm going to uncheck show content so that the stories just show their brief, which is just a brief description of the story. I wish I had more time to talk about website stories, but I have to move on to other topics. But if I scroll down, you can also have the show read more link appear in the stories widget. And this read more link, if clicked, will take the viewer to the story on your club's website. So what we typically suggest is just have the brief show, don't show your content, have the read more link show. So they click the link and it drives traffic to your website. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this update. We should see the bulletin's margins shrink down, the widget's title update, and we'll see that read more link is still part of the story. So let's go ahead and click this orange save button. There it is. So now we see Greentown Stories at the top. The length of the stories is reduced. It's fixed the margins, and we still have that read more link. So if somebody clicks that read more link, they're taken to the story on your club's website. Okay, so along with meeting information, executives and directors bulletin stories, I do know a lot of clubs like to use photo albums, birthdays and anniversaries, and president, but we're going to move on. So I'm going to click essentials to shrink it down. Excuse me. We have this links group where you can add just a bunch of different links to your bulletin. So when you actually go to add a links widget, you would just use the same steps. You would click and drag it and place it wherever on the bulletin. and then you would use the outbound arrow icon to edit the links. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you can also add links to anywhere there's a text box. What do I mean by that? Well, I showed you guys how to add a link to an email. It's the same in a text box in a widget. So say I typed in the text, join us for the Easter egg hunt. I can just highlight that text, then click the same link editor tool we clicked in the email page. And here I can use that same link type dropdown to link them to the document or an event flyer that we've uploaded, or the events registration page itself. So we have that link type event, and then I can choose the upcoming events. Again, I have to publish the Easter egg hunt event, but once we do, it would also appear in this upcoming events list. But for now, I'll just select barbecue and fundraiser, then click OK. And now we've saved the link to join us for Easter egg hunt. So you don't have to use a links widget. You can just use a text box widget from your pre-formatted widgets, highlight the text, and then enter the link. Links are a bit more static where it'll just sort of list the links. You don't have a way to add more content to those links like images. So I prefer just using a pre-formatted widget, like a text-only widget, and then start writing in those links, get them linked up, and then you can include images and other content in that text box widget. Okay, next is events. If I open up events, we have 3 different widgets. All of these tend to be pretty frequently used, especially speakers and upcoming events. If I scroll down, we can add upcoming events just below our executive. So I'm just going to move my cursor slowly down, then let go of the cursor. Here's our upcoming events list with Greentown Barbecue and Fundraiser, as well as a bunch of club meetings that have been created. If we have any upcoming speakers, this Bulletin Speakers widget would start to display them as well. I'm going to place it above the upcoming events widget. I'm just let go. So our speakers widget is configured to display past speakers, and that's why we see Jimmy Rober on October 21st. But if we had speakers coming up, they would appear in an upcoming speakers section closer to the top of this widget. Okay, next is Bulletin NPR. You can include the Bulletin editor's contact form. It's an anonymous contact form, so whoever clicks it won't see your email address. You can include that. You can include Bulletin Subscribe, which will add the viewer to your Bulletin subscribers contact group. Okay, let's add it. Let's add it to our widget. Normally, these 2 typically go at the bottom of your bulletin. So I can go Bulletin Subscribe. Let's have it go in this bottom section. So I'm just going to place it above that footer. And then I'm also going to move in the editor just below subscribe to our bulletin. Oh, it looks like we need to set a bulletin editor. We can do that from the properties here. So I'm going to go ahead, click properties, and here is our editor name. I'm going to enter Charles. There is my user. I'm going to click OK and then press the orange save button. And I'm just going to refresh the bulletin designer. It should prompt the bulletin editor widget to update here. Here we are. So I've refreshed the designer, and bulletin editor now shows Charles as the editor. And let's say that's enough for now. We also have these custom widgets. Custom widgets work very similar to pre-formatted widgets. They're really just a text box that you can add links to. You can also access more editing tools using a custom widget. We will, I'm hoping we have some extra time at the end of the webinar so I can show you how to embed a video on a custom page using a custom widget. Okay, and speaking of which, let's wrap up bulletins so I can move on to invoices and then publish our event and then create a custom page. So I'm done with our demo for designing a bulletin. Next would typically be to go to this preview step. I'm going to click preview. Here you'll see a preview of the email when you go to send out the bulletin. So I'm just scrolling through. All of our widgets are there: subscribe to bulletin, bulletin editor, upcoming events, speakers, executives, and so on. All we have to do to actually send it is click this orange next button or send. And this will look very similar to the left side of the create email page. You can check active and honorary members. You can also go to your bulletin subscribers in the contact group here. I'm going to click this plus icon. And if I scroll down, our demonstration account has 2 bulletin subscribers groups. Your account should just have 1, but you can just select bulletin subscribers or click expand for the group and then start selecting individuals to receive the email and click done. And you'll see 19 active honorary members, 6 out of 7 bulletin subscribers, and another 5. So that's our recipients. On the right side, Here are some of our properties, like the email subject. This archive bulletin after sending option, I really do suggest clicking yes if it's not already set. By default, this should be yes for your accounts. Again, when a bulletin is archived, widgets like upcoming events and upcoming speakers will freeze, so that if we left this bulletin active in February, those widgets would update. But with archiving, they will not update once it's archived. I hope I'm being clear and not confusing. After this archive bulletin after sending step, we have copy me on this bulletin option. This will send you a copy of the bulletin when going to send it out. And then there's this reply to option. So if somebody replies to the bulletin email, where should it go to? Right now it's set to Charles, my demonstration user, but you can click custom and then enter your club's name and email. So if they reply, it goes to your club's email inbox. So I could go the Rotary Club of Greentown, and then I could enter in my club's email address, greentown@gmail.com, or whatever email address you have for your club. So that way, if somebody clicks reply on this bulletin newsletter, it'll go to greentown@gmail.com. Next is the same schedule send options. I'm just going to leave it as send now, but you can schedule it for later. You also have send test to myself to quickly send you a copy without archiving the actual bulletin. Finally, we'd click this orange send button. Let's click it and then click OK on this prompt to send the bulletin to 30 recipients. And it also confirms that we are archiving it. So it should be in the bulletin archive once we've sent it, and we have. So if we go back to bulletin home, so bulletin in the top blue bar, then manage bulletins in the gray bar below, we can click view bulletins to go to our active bulletins list. Our new, the cog is already sent, so it's not here. It should be in the archive bulletins. So I'm going to click archive bulletins. There it is, the cog Jan 28th edition. If I click this drop down arrow and then click view, we'll see the actual bulletin. I can click that event registration link. Pardon me, this isn't the Easter egg hunt event. This is the barbecue event, but I'm going to go ahead and open it in a new tab. So here's the events registration page. This event has passed, or at least its registration has closed. So we don't have registration for it, but we did connect a volunteer sign-up list, and I'm not covering that in our webinar, but we did hook up a volunteer sign-up list to this event. So you can create links in your bulletins, and then readers can go to click those links, and it'll open on their browser where they can register for an event. Or if you added those bulletin stories, so we're just going to scroll down, you'll see these read more links that we chose to keep in the properties of the bulletin stories widget. I can just click read more, and it takes me to the full story on the website. So up here at the top is the story brief, and then just below is the story content with that embedded video I hit. But we can play it from the page. I'm not going to press play here. We have another 20 minutes that I can quickly spend on getting a custom page up. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this. I do want to mention, from that manage bulletins page, you can also go to send history and stats on the right side to view how those emails were sent, how those bulletin emails were sent. There's also a stats option to see the email statistics, if they were delivered them, if for any reason the email could not be delivered to them. Okay, let's move on. Next is contacts. This is where your club would store non-member contact records. I'm not going to get too much into detail about this. All you have to do is open up contacts, manage contacts, and from here you can add more contacts to select them when sending emails or event invitations or bulletins. Next is membership. I'm not going to spend time on this. We did briefly cover how to add and terminate members from your district website using the For Clubs tab member list. In the club version, it's just in membership. And then for defining your executives and club information, it's in this organization tab. So I've clicked organization. We have executives and directors here, committees. Sorry, I said club information. That's actually in the admin tab and not in the organization tab. Okay, we also have RI integration, which you would have seen on the district website. I do want to spend just 10 minutes creating an invoice and sending it to our membership. So let's quickly do that. I'm sorry I can't spend more time on each of these features. We do have full-length webinars for just the dues and billing module, for just the bulletins module. So I am trying to keep it brief and just give you an overview of how to use the bulletins or how to use the modules without going into all of the details. So we're on the organization dues and billing homepage. To create a new bill, I'm going to click this orange create new bill button. It asks me to enter a description for the bill. Let's say member dues for second quarter. Ooh, I see I misspelled dues. There we are. Member dues for second quarter. We can enter a due date for the bill. Let's go ahead and have that be March 30 or April 30th. And then we can enter a comment for the bill, which will appear in the invoice emails when we send them out to the membership. So I'm going to go ahead and say bill for member dues. And I'm sorry, I am going to have to pick up the pace. I see we're running low on time. I need to get through dues and billing and publish an event and then the custom page designer. So here we are on the batch main page for our new bill. We need to enter bill items to invoice the members. I'm going to click add additional item to add a billing item. We're going to say the first one is member dues. So that's what the item will appear as. We're going to say each member has to pay $50 quarterly for their membership. This quantity box will automatically apply the quantity to all of your active members. If for any reason you need to charge them twice for this billing item, you can enter the quantity 2, and all you have to do is click outside of the box, and automatically everybody below is set with a quantity of 2 at $50 a piece for $100 total. You can unselect members who may have already paid their dues or have paid their dues with a check payment, for example. So you can exclude members. You can also modify the pricing for individual members. Say, for example, Mickey paid partially last month. We can say $35 just for Mickey. And as soon as I click outside of the box, we see the total amount for everybody else is $100. But for Mickey, it's just $70 because we changed that individual pricing for this member. Okay, if I scroll to the bottom, you'll also have honorary members appear here, as well as 2 different types of active members and X members if your dues and billing module is configured to display X members. If it's not, these won't appear here. And if we scroll to the top of this bill page, here are the configuration settings. I don't have time to cover them, so I'm going to leave it. We're just going to go ahead and save our billing item. And that's the member dues billing item, but you can add more billing items. So I can click add additional item again. And this time we're going to say luncheon meetings. And in this case, it's going to be $25 instead of the $50 for the membership dues. And everybody had ordered 4 luncheon meetings over the year. So now everybody will have 4 at $25 a piece for 100. You can also change quantity for an individual member. So let's say Charles only had 2 meals. I'm going to enter 2 for the quantity and click outside of the box. And again, that total is updated when we change quantity or unit price just for the member you edited. So you can make those little changes just for some of your members. Next is going to save this. So now we have our 2 billing items, member dues, luncheon meetings. The pricing's about the same because the numbers added up to about the same. So I'm not going to fuss too much about that. The next is this review and billing roster. So definitely check out the billing roster, because as soon as you generate the invoices, this invoice will appear on the account statements for the members. So let's quickly take a look at the billing roster. Okay, and the billing roster will show you each member and the items they've ordered for the bill. So here we are on that billing roster. Sue Baker had member dues and luncheon meetings at the defaults that we entered, 2 for member dues, 4 for luncheon meetings. But if I go to Charles, there he is, Charles Hampton. He only had 2 luncheon meetings. So we see that $25 for Charles. And for Mickey, we changed the member dues pricing. And you'll see that here, $35, where everybody else has $50 for that member dues. Okay, so we're happy with the billing roster. We should go back to our batch main page to actually send out the invoices. So I'm going to click this go back link in the bottom right. And back on this batch main page, I'm going to click the orange generate invoices. This is the final step. So the invoices are being applied to the member account statements. The next step is to either print them off or email them, but this one saves the bill. Okay, or at least applies the bill to the member account statements. It would be saved in the open status until you click generate invoices, and only once you do does it become closed because it's been sent off to the members, or I shouldn't say sent off, it has been applied to their account statements. The next step is to email them by clicking view individual invoices from this last step. So I do see it is loading the invoices. There we are. And here to email the invoice to the members, the easiest way is to click select all at the top. It'll select everybody, and then you can click email selected invoices. If for any reason some members don't have an email address entered, it will show you missing email address, which means they wouldn't be sent this invoice email, but you can download the selected members invoices in a PDF format and then print it off to share with the members. So I could click email and it'll email it out. Let's quickly do that. So I've clicked email and it brings us to this dues and billing email archive. Here's our invoice email. It says queued for sending. ClubRunner isn't instant. It usually sends emails within about 5 minutes of sending it, but you can always come back to this email archive page to review the stats of that email send. And I'm quickly showing you here on the right, we can click that action drop down arrow, then click stats, but it won't be populated because it hasn't sent out the email. But for this one, we can click stats. So let's quickly do that. And I'll show you how to get back to the email archive if you ever like to come back after you send a bill. So here's what the email stats page looks like after sending an email. You can do this for your regular emails and communication or bulletin email send history, which I touched on. And now for the dues and billing module, you'll see opened, successfully delivered, undelivered. Successfully delivered is the most important stat here. Opened can sometimes be triggered by a member's mobile device email application. It may show a little pop-up and then trigger opened, but they didn't actually open and read the email. For that reason, we really suggest making sure successfully delivered is as close to 100% as possible. If we scroll down just a bit more, you'll see sent to a number of members. It seems my colleague here has opened up the invoice email, and for some that had previously experienced email issues, they will appear with a drop status until the email issue is resolved. For Janice, it appears as bounced because this is the first time we've sent Janice a test email and it failed. So now we see this bounce stat. If I click bounced, it'll show me the reason the email could not be delivered. You can also find these reasons from communication in the top blue bar, then manage blocked emails. And then you can unblock them and resend an email to test to see if it's delivered to the member. And I'll leave it at that for now. Let's move on to publishing our Easter egg hunt event. So we also have RI integration to integrate updates, website, which we'll come back to for the custom page, reports. Definitely check out all of these different types of reports. I don't have the time to cover them. I am running out. Let's go to events and then go to event planner. All ClubRunner standard accounts have access to events event planner, so you can create events online like we did for that barbecue fundraiser link I did in our bulletin. But we also have this Easter egg hunt. Typically, we would create a brand new event just by clicking create new event. And then you could enter in the event name, its code, its start date and end date, and so on. I don't have time to fill in all these fields. So let's go back and just publish the one I've got us started on. Here's our Easter egg hunt. If I click the event's title, it'll bring us to this page. If I click edit details, it looks exactly the same as that create event page. I've just filled in this information ahead of time. I do need to set my event to be active and then click save at the very bottom. So we've entered all of our details, its location, it is active. Next would be the registration options for your event and payment options for your event. So I can go to registration, click edit registration options. And here we can say, open this event for registration. Yep, start date and end date for the registration. Let's push this up to April 14th, the day just before the event starts. April 13th, pardon me. And then is there a fee for the event? Yes, $50. This is set in the payment settings, and I will get to that. You can allow the public to register, any visitor on your website. You can allow members to register their own guests. You can copy your event chair from the event details page whenever somebody registers for an event, so they get a notice. You can also enable comments on the registration page. Only members are able to leave comments. Typically, most accounts don't use this option. And finally, you can enable a custom email message and then enter the message that you would like included in that event confirmation email. I'm going to leave this out. I am running low on time. So I'm going to click save. Let's take a look at the payment settings. But before I move on to that, you have this reports and register section. So you can register non-members and review the event reports. You can also associate a volunteer sign-up list to your event. So you have the member registration, guest registration, and a volunteer sign-up list as well, all on the event registration page. We will look at our event on the website once we published it. And finally is this payment settings section and email section where you can send out an invite using this new invitation button. But let's change the pricing for our event. So I'm going to click change payment settings. And if we scroll down, we can change the event's pricing. So I could say, oops, it's actually supposed to be $55. I should probably update my event's description using edit details at the top of the event page, but that's a matter for another time. Next is the currency. So if you're a US-based organization, you can get the US dollar option from this currency option list. Canadians here. If for any reason you don't see your own club's currency, definitely reach out to us, clubrunnersupport.com. All you need to do is click contact us in the top right and say, I don't see my club's currency is available. Let us know which currency you're looking to include and we can get that added. But I'm pretty sure US dollar and Canadian dollar will cover you guys. So I'm going to select US dollar. Next is this payment method. If you guys have signed up for an integrated online payment account with Paya Payment Solutions or Bambora, now they go by Worldline, you will see those integrated online payment accounts appear here, and then you can select one. And when you save an online payment account as a payment method, members, visitors will be able to pay online with a credit card for their event registration. It also works with the dues and billing invoice email we just sent, as well as the donations module, which I won't have time to cover. But if we scroll to the top, you'll see donations as one of the items. And this donation module requires an integrated online payment account so you can accept donations online. Okay, and finally, there's these two last options: require members to pay to complete registration. Typically, this is set to yes, but if you don't want your members to pay, you can choose no, so they can save the registration without paying. And then you can also allow this, do you wish to allow payment by check option, where if you select yes, you can enter the check instructions. So they should send it to your club's mailing address or write it out to your club name, for example. Okay, that's all the time I have to spend on events. I want to get to our custom page tutorial. So the event is set. Let's take a quick look at it on the website. Our custom page is going to be the event flyer for this Easter egg hunt event. So to get to my homepage, I'm going to click homepage in the top right here. And I'm just going to open up our event and calendar page. So here we are on the calendar page for January. I'm going to move on to April. Here we are, April. I don't see the event. I hope I said it correctly. Barbecue and fundraiser, but where's my Easter egg hunt? I'm sorry, something is up. Bear with me. I'm going to do a quick bit of troubleshooting. Back in the member area events event planner. And here's our Easter egg hunt event. I'm just going to open it. It does seem to be good. I'm just going to check the registration options. Opened, yep. That's the registration. So it should be online. I'm just going to check the details page here, edit details. Code active. I'm sorry, I skimmed over this. I thought I had prepared it all. It's these two show event settings. So we have show event on homepage, which would show it in the upcoming events widget, both for your homepage and bulletins. Oh, sorry, that's bulletins here, and the calendar option, and that's why we weren't seeing it. So I'm going to go ahead and set these all to yes to have it appear on the website. Normally, you would typically do this when creating your event for the first time, but I came back to sort of unpublish this for our tutorial, pardon me. So I've saved that update, If we go back to our homepage, we should see the event on the calendar, and then we'll make an event flyer for it as well. So here on the calendar, I'm going to go to April. There it is, Greentown Easter Egg Hunt. I can click the event from the calendar, and on the left side, here's that pricing information we set, members, guest registration, and the volunteer sign-up list we associated to the event. In the event's details, we included an address, so the address appears here in an embedded Google map. You don't have to drag in a Google map or anything. Just enter the address information, and Google Maps will use that information to display an address here. Okay, so that's how you can quickly get an event set up. I'm sorry I couldn't spend more time on all of the options, but let's get our custom page created with a link to the event. So to make a new custom page, I'm going to click Website in the top blue bar, and then click Designer Home. If you are set with the greatest access level, 30 site administrator, you have access to the homepage designer to update your club's homepage. To create custom pages, all you need is 60 editor access level up to 30 site administrator. So executive, 50-club executive is in between that. So if you're an executive for your club and you've been assigned club executive access, you can create custom pages. All you have to do is website, designer home, and then from here you can click create page. You can also view all of the custom pages on your club's website. And I just did that. I click view pages, and here are all of our pages, and we're going to create something similar to this Easter egg hunt flyer, but a new one. And to do that, I'm going to click this orange create new page button. I'm sorry, Vicky, I do have about 3 minutes, and I'm going to run through this custom page designer tutorial. So I'm on choosing a template very similar to the bulletins. I'm going to start from a blank template. So I'm going to click blank and then click this orange next button. First things first, when it comes to designing custom pages, I usually go to properties and enter a title for my custom page. I'm going to go ahead and title this event flyer, Easter egg hunt, April. And I am making little typos in my haste here. The permalink of the page is the URL of the page once we publish it. And we will take a look at this. For now, it's event flyer, Easter egg hunt, April. You can also have a page tab title appear, which is just how it appears in these browser tabs, as well as access. So you can make custom pages require member access, so only members can view the information on a custom page. I'm going to leave it as public. And then we can click this orange save button. You can enter an owner, and the owner will be able to edit the page, but I'm going to leave that out for our rush tutorial here. So there we are. Our event flyer Easter egg hunt is saved as the page title. If I refresh, there is the page title right there on the page. Let's remove this blank template widget. I'm just going to add our upcoming events widget and a pre-formatted widget with that image with caption. So I'm going to go ahead, pre-formatted widgets, image with caption right here in the top. And actually, let's get a layout going. Sorry, I skimmed over that. Let's get a layout. I'm going to go ahead and have a left sidebar. So I'm going to go ahead and click full width above top band, and it moved that widget we just placed into the main column. I can move widgets around again by just hovering over it and hovering over these 6-dot icon in the top left. I'm sorry, my mouse cursor is very big, but I can just click it and then move it to the banner full width section. And now I'm just going to use those same steps. I'm clicking that pencil icon. There's my Easter egg hunt image. I can enter some text, the same sort of click here to register for the Easter egg hunt. And then just triple click and link it up to the event. So here I am in that same link dialog, link type event, and we should see Easter egg hunt. There we are. I'm going to select Easter egg hunt and click OK. And now this text is linked to it. We can also link the image by clicking this gear icon. And here we can select the link type event, just like we did with the link type dialog, and then choose the event Easter egg hunt. Okay, you can add more links and other pre-formatted widgets and essentials widgets. So let's have our club executives appear. I'm just going to go ahead, executives and directors in the left column, club information in the top column or in the top area, and say you'd like to link a document. You could do that in the event. I really didn't get a chance to show you guys that, but you can link documents right here. I would use either a pre-formatted widget or links widget, but let's do that. I'm going to use a text-only pre-formatted widget. And we can go ahead and say event documents, and we can go ahead and bold that and give it a larger heading. So that's massive, but that's okay. And now we can say event venue map, event flyer, our sponsors. So say you have a sponsor document that was sent to you, you can upload all of these documents into your club's organization documents list, and then come back to your event flyer custom page, and then highlight the text you would like to link, click the link editor tool, and instead of event, we're going to use the document link type. So I'm going to select document, and if I click the second drop down, you'll see all of the documents that have been uploaded here, like club logo. I see our ClubRunner Essentials PDF is here. So I'm just going to throw in some quick links. We're almost done. I see we are over time for the training. I'm almost done. We just need to link this into the navigation menu. So do bear with me, and we'll jump into live questions within 2 minutes here. I'm going to just save these 2 links and we'll move on. So we're going to go ahead and publish our page. It's on the website, but it isn't linked anywhere. We're going to link it into the navigation menu by hovering over the navigation and clicking the outbound arrow icon. It'll take you to this manage homepage menu page. And here I'm going to our event and calendar folder, our dropdown, and I'm going to place our new custom page in the event flyer. So I'm going to click this blue add menu item link, and we're going to go ahead and say Easter egg hunt flyer, and we're going to change the link type to custom page. It's the second option here, and then we should see Easter egg hunt April. I see my old page here, but this is the one we worked on together, Easter egg hunt April, and then all I have to do is click this orange save button. And the last step with all changes when it comes to the designer is to publish the menu. And I did publish the custom page before. So I did do that for our custom page, but we're also publishing the menu. And now it's done. Our custom page is linked up onto the website. I just need to click home in the top right of my member area. And then in events and calendar, in the event and flyer, there's our Easter egg hunt flyer we created together. I'm going to click it. Okay, if I was to come back and revise this, it would probably be to move this widget into the top section and not the full width section. The full width section is having this extra white space. If we use the dynamic carousel widget, that would stretch across, but our certain widget is keeping it at its size. Here's our link to the event registration. Let's click it. There it is. It opens up that same event page we published together with that $55 pricing and all of those registration buttons. And if I scroll down some more, there's the club meeting information, our club executives list, and the 2 links I added in that pre-formatted widget, that text box widget. If I click the links, they'll open a document on my browser. So let's click event venue map. Here's that ClubRunner Essentials PDF that I linked up. And I can't remember what I linked to this event flyer, but let's click it anyway. This is a club document with some content. It looks like just a text file, and that's what I linked up to the event, but you can upload your own documents and then link them to your custom pages, okay? And that's all the content I have for the training. I do believe your district does have a poll for all of you before we head into Q&A session. So Sean, if you've sent that out, thank you very much. And we'll wait just a minute or so while you answer your questions, and I'll have Robin, my colleague, answer me or share some questions with me to answer over the training. Okay, so let's just wait until 12:20 so you guys can fill out that poll. It's probably not enough time, but do spend some time filling out that information. It is valuable both to your district and our team. Okay, and I do see the poll is sent out, so you guys should see those options. I will wait just a minute or two while you guys fill that out. Okay, I will just hold off until about half of you guys have filled out the poll. We're almost there, so just another minute or so, and then we'll go on to your questions. I do see Robin selected some for me to answer live, so I'm going to start with those ones, and you guys can continue to submit your questions. We'll do our best to get through all of them, and I am happy to stick around an extra 5 or 10 minutes if the district would like to answer more questions. So we can go till another 20 minutes. I think the actual cutoff time is in 10, but I'm happy to stick around another 10 minutes. Okay, I think we're at the halfway point. Thank you everyone for filling out that poll, and I hope I'm not cutting you short while we answer some questions while you fill out the poll if you haven't yet. So let's start with the first question that's been sort of selected for me. How do we merge duplicate member entries when RI sets up 2 RI member IDs? So this is a bit of a complex question. What David is asking is, I've gone to my membership, I've gone to the members list, and I've added my member once, but it seems they have 2 records at Rotary International. If they have 2 records at Rotary International, but only 1 in your ClubRunner database, it's best to email the data team at Rotary International directly, and their email address is data@rotary.org. When emailing them, include both of the duplicate members' RI ID numbers in the email to the data team, and they'll be able to merge the records using the older Rotary ID number. If in ClubRunner you're seeing 2 member records, while they only have 1 at Rotary International, you would typically see that in the RI integrations compare and synchronize page, or you'd see them on the active members list. The best thing to do at that point is take the member's original Rotary ID number and make sure that that is entered for their profile, and then terminate the other profile as a duplicate. Where would you go to check their Rotary member number? That's a great question. Let's click a member profile. Here we are in Charles's profile. If I click the Rotary tab, this is where the Rotary member number field is entered. Our demonstration account isn't connected to Rotary International for integration, but this Rotary tab is where you'd see the Rotary member number. Make sure this number is the member's original Rotary ID number. Really, when matching up the member records in both systems, it uses the full name, Rotary ID, and membership type. So it would use this membership type, this Rotary member number entered, and their full name. So if you're seeing duplicates, chances are it's either the name, member number, or membership type that are mismatched, and it can be either corrected in ClubRunner by making those changes to the member's profile, or if it's happening at Rotary, by emailing the data team at Rotary International. Okay, I hope that answers your question, David. If you still have some issues with duplicate members, do reach out to our team. I'm just going to repeat myself, clubrunnersupport.com. All you have to do is click contact us. Just let us know, I'm seeing 2 members with that should only be 1 in Rotary International. How do I continue? And we'll be sure to help you after reviewing the information and giving you some actions to move forward on if necessary. Okay, great question. I'm going to go ahead and move on here. Kim asks, is the information shared on ClubRunner update on other sites like district and rotary.org? I think you're asking if information on how to update your ClubRunner website is on the district website or on Rotary International's website. I don't believe Rotary International has our knowledge base link to their website, so definitely know on Rotary International, your district will record this webinar training, so they will have that to share with you after, I believe, 24 hours after the training. But again, clubrunnersupport.com. It is our knowledge base with recorded webinars and articles. Kim, if you're looking for more information on updating your website, I would suggest clubrunnersupport.com, videos and webinars. And from this page, we have a quick 7-minute live designer tutorial in the video tutorial section. But if you're looking for something you can really sink your teeth into and create custom pages, create a navigation, embed a video in your custom page, definitely check out our changeover training section. I'm just going to show you exactly where you can find those trainings. So I'm in clubrunner.com, videos and webinars, changeover training. If we scroll all the way to the bottom of this list, you'll see beginner website live designer and Advanced Website Live Designer. And this will really help you build out your club or district website if you have access on the district. We really cover a lot of information in these 2 webinars. I do want to mention they're a little more than an hour in length each. So do get a coffee and some popcorn and maybe a notebook to take some notes while viewing our changeover trainings, okay? We also have role-based training closer to the top, club executive training on district sites. So that would cover that club executive access I talked about. We also have club executive training on club websites, adding members, updating the club information, transferring members, and so on. Okay, I hope that also answers your question here. I am seeing other questions are answered, but I am here at your disposal. So if you guys have more questions, definitely submit them to us, and I'm happy to spend the time to show you with our live account, but I am sticking around here.
Hey, Omar, I think we still have 2 questions,
Yes.
One from David and one from Kim.
Oh, thank you. I do see the follow-ups. I'm sorry, I thought they were the same names. I was confused. Let me answer them. David asks, I've attempted the sync option, but did not see where to merge 2 IDs, preserving the original numbers. So this is following up on, I think, the member having 2 Rotary IDs in Rotary International, David. You wouldn't be able to use ClubRunner to get those 2 Rotary records merged. You would have to reach out to the data team for assistance merging those records. If it's in ClubRunner, then just make sure that the correct Rotary ID is entered for the member record with more information in ClubRunner. And then for the second record, you can terminate as a duplicate. But if this is happening in Rotary International, only the data team would be able to assist. But if it's in ClubRunner, again, get the correct Rotary ID, make sure it's in the profile with the most information for the member, then terminate the other record as a duplicate. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can terminate a record as a duplicate. So we can go to Robin's record here. I'm going to click this change status link. And then on this page, we can click terminate membership. We don't want this termination to go to Rotary International. This is likely a duplicate record that we should clean up in ClubRunner. So from this termination page, I can choose duplicate record on ClubRunner. And as soon as I select this duplicate option, the do not report this termination to RI option is selected. And we want this. We don't want the member's active record to be terminated at RI. We're just cleaning up the extra ClubRunner record. So then we'd select duplicate record on ClubRunner. Do not report this termination to RI will be selected for us. And then the next item here would be to click terminate member. And that way they only have one record in your ClubRunner database, and ideally connected up to your Rotary record for them. Again, matched on Rotary ID, member full name, and the membership type. Okay, I hope that answers your question. But again, if you're still struggling with it, definitely reach out to us, clubrunnersupport.com. Just share with us the member name that is experiencing the issue. We can do a quick review. And if it's happening in Rotary International, we'll share that data team email address with you in the request. So you have those steps and email address to follow up with. Kim also sends a follow-up question. Also, websites created here, are they only available through ClubRunner, or would they appear as independent websites with their own URL not associated with ClubRunner? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Kim. I think what you're looking for is to remove ClubRunner from your club's website address. So I'm going to click homepage for our demonstration account. And Rotary Club of Greentown, you'll see here in the top, has portal.clubrunner.ca/9723. This is the default portal address we give to any new subscriber. Instead of 9723, your club's ClubRunner account ID number would be right there. If you want to replace portal.clubrunner.ca/9723, there are effectively 2 options. Either the club goes to register a domain name and then connects it to our domain service with aliasing, or have our team register a domain name so that that domain name appears instead. Just to show you an example, a club from outside of your district, District 6330, I believe, akronrotary.org, is a ClubRunner subscriber. They requested our domains team register akronrotary.org for them. And then when we registered that domain name, we replaced their portal address with the domain name. If I go to member login, here is that same portal address for Rotary Club of Akron, portal.clubrunner.ca4456. If I tried to go to this address now after they requested we register the domain name for them, it'll automatically replace the portal address with the domain name they've registered. So if you're interested in replacing that portal address with a domain name, the best place to go to get that process started is clubrunnersupport.com. So here we are on the knowledge base. I can go domain name, and we'll see a few options. Domain name purchased through ClubRunner. So this would be to have our team register the domain name for your club, or domain transfer to ClubRunner. So if your club has already registered a domain name themselves, you can transfer it to us, and then we can take care of hooking up the domain name to the portal website. The last option is where you guys keep the domain's registration, and that would be, how do I set up domain aliasing with ClubRunner? I'm going to quickly show you this article. Effectively, the process is to reach out to us with the aliasing order form or this contact us button. Say, I would like to hook up my website to my portal, and we can share these options with you. All you need to do is let us know you have access to the domain name. We would share some verification records for you to enter into the domain name. And then after you get those verification records, you can proceed to add these records. But if this is all too much technology lingo, best thing to do at that point is to email us to either transfer the domain name or have our team register a new domain name for you. And then we take care of all these domain record and verification steps. It takes typically about 3 to 5 business days, where we initially get your domain purchase request, go and register it, and then hook it up to the website. I'd say sometimes even faster than 3 to 5 business days. Okay, and Kim asks, okay, what I'm asking is whether websites on ClubRunner are available to the general public. Thank you, Kim. All ClubRunner homepages are available to the public, just like akronrotary.org. If your club is subscribed with ClubRunner, they would also either have portal.clubrunner.ca and then your account number, or that alias domain name if you have registered one with us. So I hope that answers your question. All of the homepages are publicly available. You can create custom pages to be member only, but the homepage always publicly available. Awesome. And I do see that's all the questions for now, but I do want to stick around another 3 minutes or so in case I catch any other last questions. So please feel free to stay and wait for those questions. Or if you've learned a lot, I hope you learned, I hope you took away a lot. I'm going to pull up my outro slide here. So bear with me. I'm just going to pull up a nice slide that has all of the information I'd like to show you guys. So there we are. Thank you all for attending. You can always contact us directly, support@clubrunner.ca. That's our direct email address. I also showed you clubrunnersupport.com, the contact us button in the top right. You can also log into clubrunnercommunity.com. All of our other users also can log into ClubRunner Community. You would use your same district or club login credentials on clubrunnercommunity.com, and then you can log in and make posts or read posts about what other club administrators or users are doing with ClubRunner. Definitely check out clubrunnercommunity.com. And then earlier in the webinar, I probably didn't spend enough time as I wanted to, but clubrunner.com/mobile will open up that video tutorial of our mobile app with 2 links for the app on the Google Play Store and iOS Apple Store. So definitely check out these links. And if you have questions, please, please, please reach out to us, support@clubrunner.ca or clubrunnersupport.com. And in the top right, click new ticket, and then you can reach out to us and we can help you over email. We also have a phone number that'll appear in our email signatures. Thank you all so much. I'll hang around just 30 more seconds. I don't see any other questions, but thank you again, everyone.
Omar, I do have one quick thing I would request.
Yes.
Can you just spend 30 seconds or a minute on packages and prices available to clubs?
Thank you. Yes, certainly, Sean. Thank you for bringing that up. So if you're interested in ordering ClubRunner or the pricing information for ClubRunner, best place to go is our homepage, clubrunner.ca. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our website. If you'd like to see the pricing for ClubRunner, we just need to click pricing in the top bar here, and automatically it'll be set to clubs. all you need to do is enter your club's membership size. So you're 35 members. And if you scroll down just a little more, you'll see the 3 versions: light, standard, and admin. And in our tutorial, we use the standard version. So we had access to all of the tools. Light is for the website. Admin is for a version of ClubRunner without the website, just the member area. And if you're interested in these versions features, all you have to do is scroll down just a little more and you'll see these light features, standard features, or admin features buttons. We can click one of those feature buttons and it'll take you to that version's features. And say, I did touch on this, but if you're interested in integrated online payment account, you could go to online payment as one of the features for ClubRunner Standard. And then it'll take you to this page with some general information about online payment. But if we scroll to the bottom, you can click your country to sign up either for a Paya account if you're in the US, or Worldline/Bambora account if you're in Canada. I'll quickly show you guys that process. So we've clicked Bambora. If I scroll down, you'll see the pricing and fees from the payment processor for processing transactions. So in this case, Worldline charges 25 cents per transaction plus 3.25% of the transaction, and that's the cost for integrating payments. Once you guys have applied for an online payment account with this apply online link, usually Bambora will get the account set up within 1 to 2 business days and then reach out to our team. So you don't have to get involved. They'll reach out to us directly and we'll connect the online payment account to your club's ClubRunner website. And that is another 1 to 2 business days. Once that online payment account is hooked up, you'll be able to use the donations module, collect event registrations online, and send out invoices with a pay online link. Members can click and pay for their invoices in your club website. Okay, and I can quickly just sort of show you the features for, say, ClubRunner Lite. So I've gone back to pricing. We could enter the correct number of members, but just to get to Lite features, I'm going to Lite, then Lite features, and you'll see online payment processing isn't part of ClubRunner Lite. Really, it's just the communication module, website designer. It doesn't even include bulletins. But if you're just looking for a quick way to throw up a website with some events and have some emails in a member directory, ClubRunner Lite's a good option to save some money while getting access to a lot of the tools I showed you today. Did you have any other items for me, Sean?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody again. Thank you all so much for attending. I'm going to throw up that nice slide again with all of the links. Robin and I will hop off, let's say, in the minute here. And again, thank you all for joining me today for the District 7020 and 7030 ClubRunner Essentials training. I hope you took away a lot. Take care, everyone.